Hello bass family and welcome to Everything Bass. We're back with Technique Development Unit 16. And I'm going to try and mix up the technique developments going from a certain style, maybe tackling certain goals, but then the next one try to do something different. And variety helps, I think, in not getting burnt out on practice, having different exercises that you can cycle through. Believe me, there's 16. I don't expect you, and nor would it be healthy, I think, for you to do all 16 in one sitting. But I think it's healthy to have a cycle where you can cycle through them. Now, I will give you a suggestion that helped me when I was a student in MI and then later when I counseled students. When you get so much curriculum and so much material to work on, one little shorthand that I developed, now let me see if I can show you, up in the corner here of the sheet, I would, when I first got assigned, I would put a clear circle. I'd just make a circle. And that would tell me that's something I need to work on. As I would work on it and get it like where I had it memorized and I was getting it up to say 100 beats per minute, felt pretty good, I'd color in half of the circle. So half of the circle would be black or blue, whatever ink, and half would be clear. That was a visual reminder that I'm not quite there yet, but it's on its way. It's one I should put in my rotation. When I felt like I could play it easily from memory at any tempo and not make any mistakes, I would clear the entire, or I would ink in the entire circle so it was a black or blue dot. So then when it's in your lesson binder and you're trying to plan your practice time, you can take a big pause with the lesson dots, the ones that have the dots on them. I wouldn't say never go back to them, but you don't have to put them on a regular rotation. Now what I would do as a student is about every couple weeks I would go through a section of our binder of, because we had these huge MI binders and all the classes would go in there. So every couple weeks, regardless of what the dot was, I would just go through everything. And usually I did that on a Sunday because the school was closed for classes on Sunday. And I would just go through every possible sheet as a kind of a refresher. And if I felt like, I got a little weak on that, then I would highlight that one and kind of freshen it up. So these are just suggestions on how to work through all these technical development studies, because I'm going to kind of not stop. I always feel there's different exercises I can give you that will let you work out your brain and your hands. Now, today we are working out a triplet exercise to make sure that you guys are really clear and clean on your triplets. Also using a two-string pattern and playing only natural notes. So we're using it also as a way to practice our shifting and practice learning the fingerboard. So this pattern, this exercise, we're going to start with the E and the A string. And every 2 beats, so beat 1, beat 3, beat 1, beat 3 of every measure starts with 3 open E's. And you're playing a triplet, 1 and a. Now we traditionally verbalize that as 1 and a. I've heard some people, especially when I was working with students that didn't speak English very well, sometimes it was easier to just get them to say blueberry, a 3-syllable word that's evenly spaced. Blueberry, 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 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a. So that's the pulse. We got this 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a pulse. So on beat 1, we're just doing 3 open E's. Now on beat 2, we're playing the 2nd fret B because that's a natural note. We're only playing natural notes. So we're not going to play the B flat or the A sharp here, and we're not going to play open because I want to fret it. So we're going to go open E 3 times, then B, C, B, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret. You can just kind of cycle that and get that groove down. That's 2 sets of triplets, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now the 2nd or 3rd beat of the measure, so we're in the 2nd half of the measure. You're going to start again with the open E 3 times. Then you're going to play C, D, C, like that. Then beginning of 2nd measure, 3 open E's, D, E, D, E, F, E, F, G, F, so on and so forth. Similar to when I did the hypernext study series, I'll take you up to a point, but you can either just use your own know-how and familiarity with the instrument to go the rest of the way, or if you need a little help, and there's no shame in that, you can go to my Patreon account. The link will be in the description below. You can become a Backstage Pass member, and what that allows you to do is for $8 a month, you can download all my sheet music for every video I've ever done. And then you'll actually be able to see it. So if you need a little extra help or you want to check your work to make sure you did it correctly all the way up, download this. I take you up to the C up here, that BC up there. Okay, guys, so that's the exercise. Now, you can take it farther if you want. If you want, then you could transition it to the A. Now, the frets will be different because we want to still stay in natural notes. So it won't be the same fret pattern that you just did on the A string. And then you can do the open D and keep going. 5, 6, 7 string bass players, do it with any combination thereof. So you can see how this one exercise, you can really go nuts with it. But it's good to have a strong triplet feel. After you've memorized the pattern, I would put on a metronome. And if you need it, you can turn the metronome up at a high tempo. So it's going like click, 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 and count those as 1 and 2 and 3. And that can help you sometimes get the triplet feel down. Although most metronomes, and even the ones you download on your phone, have a way to accent 1 in a pattern of 3. Sometimes that's helpful. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3, and sometimes that helps you lock in the triplet feel. Let me know in the comments below, what suggestions you, or what your experience was with this exercise. Do you have suggestions for me to cover in a future video about how to improve upon this exercise? Really anything. Just keep the dialogue going. I'm loving it. I really am loving it. All right, we're going to move on to our encore item, and today it's Elton John's Greatest Hits, 1970 to 2002. And during that entire time, Elton John's bass player was the phenomenal Dee Murray. And I know a lot of people might not know Dee Murray, but man, what a phenomenal bass player! I'm unclear of how many of the bass lines he wrote or how many of the bass lines were written for him by Elton. But regardless, his performance is phenomenal, and I have to think that he came up with a lot of these, especially probably as Elton got to trust him more and more in future songs. If you're a composing bass player, you like to write songs and stuff, I really think this would be a great collection to get and listen to all the different feels and all the different bass lines that Dee performs. Plus, you've got a ton of #1 hits. I mean, just amazing how prolific Elton John was and is. So yeah, check that out. I think I like listening to it, and I've had over the cause of my 30 plus years of playing bass, I've played many of Elton's songs in bands and stuff, and I've always found that the bass lines were really interesting, and I at times I even tried to mimic his tone, and which I think is a good exercise just to kind of broaden your own palette of colors when you play. All right, so Technique Development 16 and Elton John's Greatest Hits 1970-2002 featuring Dee Murray. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you could, it would mean so much to me if you could subscribe to the channel just below. Just hit the button below and the little bell icon next to it. That means so much to me. At the time of recording, I'm pretty close to 1,000 subscribers, and it would just mean so much if I could hit that mark. Also, if you would share this video with bass players you like and and you feel might benefit from these tutorial videos, it would mean so much to me. I'm trying to grow a larger community, and right now it's pretty large, and you guys are pretty active. Especially, here's an invitation. We have a Facebook page called Everything Bass with Dale Titus. I'd love for you to get involved with that. Every day we're having conversations, and I just love talking and communicating with bass players. I've learned so much from these guys and gals. So go to Facebook and search Everything Bass with Dale Titus, the entire phrase, and you'll get the page. Just hit a follow or like and start contributing. Just announce yourself. Say, hey, here I am. I'm a bass player from so-and-so, and how long you've been playing, what's your favorite bass, anything like that. Just let us get to know you a little better. It's really one of my favorite things about doing this whole Everything Bass channel is to just communicate with you guys. Oh, and that's it. I mentioned earlier, you can go to my Patreon account, become a monthly subscriber, and actually get all my sheet music. If that's got value to you, it would be great, and it would definitely help support the channel, help me invest in better gear. As you can see, we got better lighting, but better audio than when the channel first launched. All right, love you guys so much, and I will see you at the next video.